You're watching Rain Night Gaming. Don't forget to help support the channel by going to Dueling Nexus and entering our promo code, Rain Night Gaming. Click the link in the description below. Now, back to the action. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Night Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and since I've been doing so much Master Duel Dino content, I decided to hop into Nexus and put you guys together a $50 budget Dino deck. Just in case you want to try getting into this thing, to try it out, you've got under $50 to spend to make this. Plus, you could just make this on Dueling Nexus and try it out completely free. So, first up, of course, we're going to get into our main deck, then our extra deck, and then my side deck is actually going to be some alternate cards you could play in this for different slight strategies, and the more expensive options for things you could update into this deck if you wanted to spend the cash monies. After that, we're going to go into just a few test hands so you guys can kind of see how the deck plays. First up, we've got Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is your main boss monster. He is amazing. You've got two different ways of getting into him. You either can hard draw him, pay banish two dinos from your graveyard, and you can summon them out. Or if you've got evolution pill, double evolution pill, it'll be in one dino. So he's really easy to get out, and then he destroys one of your monsters either in hand or on the field, and you get to flip the entire opponent's field face down. So he is really powerful because he can also attack every single monster your opponent has. If they're in defense mode, he can pop them for 1,000, or he can just swing into them. So really powerful boss monster, just ends games. Now, starting games, we've got our combo starters. We've got not Petite Pteranodon, that's later, Animadorn Archosaur. He pops a baby to search you pill, pills right here, and that's going to let you get into your Ultimate Conductor. See how that works? And usually you want to pop a baby because your babies give you special summoning effects. Best baby, you play 3 Baby Cerosaurus. This is going to let you summon out a level 4 or lower onto the field, and of course they get all their effects. And all these babies are not once per turn, so you can pop a baby to summon a baby. You just have to make sure to not summon back the baby you just popped, because if you summon that one back, it does not get that graveyard effect. So always summon back a baby you didn't pop. Next baby, we've got Petite Pteranodon. He's similar, but not the same. We play 2 of him just because Baby Cerosaurus is a little better, but this guy will let you summon out level 4 and higher monsters. It will not let you get into your Ultimate Conductor because he has summoning conditions, but this will let you get into your Dino Wrestler Pankratops, your Mad Kaiju, even your Xeno. It'll let you get into all of those. The only main thing is those dinosaurs cannot attack that turn. But if you're popping him, you're usually wanting to get into Dino Wrestler Pankratops for some kind of removal or set up the next turn for removal, that kind of thing. Then the sad face, one of Miscellaneousaurus, or Misk. He's really good. You send him to the graveyard from your hand that protects your dinosaurs on the field. Watch out for a couple things on this guy. He's really good, but while he's in the graveyard, he's vulnerable. So watch out if you're using his effect in the graveyard, you can be ashed there. And if you're playing dinosaurs, that is when you want to ash a dino combo, because it usually stops them pretty cold, because they're almost always going to be going into Animadorn Archosaur to get their pill. So just watch out for that. But you can banish any number of dinosaurs to get things out. So it's him plus any other dinosaurs in your graveyard. That number will be the amount of levels you can summon out. So if you banish him plus 3 more, you could summon out your Soul Eating Oviraptor, which we're going to talk about right now. Soul Eating Oviraptor is also one of your great combo starters. You summon him out and he gets to search any level 4 monster. You put it in your hand. Pretty good. I like it. speaking of soul-eating Oviraptor, he's also very good. He lets you search your deck for a dino, add it to your hand. I mean, you can't beat that. You're usually going to be searching your Miscellaneousaurus. He can also pop monsters on the field. Pop babies. So you either want to pop a baby or pop the token that you can generate through Lost World, which we'll talk about in a minute. So he's also level 4. Level 4 works with a lot of our extra deck monsters. Now, here is a little bit of an odd choice. I still play Xenometeorosaurus, or Meteorus. Xenometeorus. These names are crazy. Even though I do not play Ground Xeno, because Ground Xeno costs $30, and you usually want to play 3 of them if you're playing them in your deck. We can't afford that with this deck. Just know if you are updating this deck, that's going to be your first update. But this card's nice. Whenever a dinosaur gets destroyed and he's in your hand, you can summon him out for free. He's a tuner, so he works with your level 4s to get into your Baron. Or, any level 8 really you want to run. Then a fun new one here. This one just came out, and this is actually replacing your Giant Rex. This is I'm just going to call this one Terra. Because it's good. It does the same thing Rex does. If it gets banished, it gets summoned out to the field from the banished zone. And it searches a polymerization. So it's just one better. So pretty nice. Then, freshly to 2, Dino Wrestler Pankratops. I'm experimenting with having 2. I'm still not completely sold that I like running 2. But for grindier games, I can see how 2 is superior. Just know if you don't feel like running 2, you don't have to. You could run this at 1. Then, Doggerah, the Mad Kaiju. You got to run the 1 Kaiju. He's searchable. Just lets you, do Kaiju things. Also, if you use my promo code Rain Knight Gaming here on Nexus, you can get yourself some sleeves of a little baby Mad Kaiju. He's super cute, but he's super angry. Try him out. Okay, now to the spells. The Dino spells. Double evolutionary pill. You're going to banish a Dino and a non-Dino. This is going to let you get out any of your big dinosaurs. Ultimate Conductor. You can get out Pankratops, your Mad Kaiju, realistically, Ultimate Conductor. And that's just one of those ways to get him out. And you're going to get this pill off of Animador and Archosaur. So, really nice. Fossil Dig in Archetype Searcher lets you search any level 1 through 6. This can get you one of your starters. It could get you a Xeno if you've already got your starters, and then this would just be an extender. So just amazing card. You played at 3. At 2, I'm not playing at 3 anymore. 2, Lost World. I decided, since this has a searchable option and I wanted to play a couple other things here and there, I decided to cut this back. Also, you don't want to get 2 of them in your hand because then it's just a brick. So cutting this back to 2 makes it so you're less likely to open 2 of them. And, again, there are ways of actually searching this out through your new fusion monster. It's not like the best, but it's a way. Just know you could run this at 3 if you want to. Probably wouldn't run terraforming. You don't need 4 copies. So just 2 or 3, that'd be good. Polymerization, this is going to let you get into your new fusion spell. And he's going to do some stuffs for you. We'll talk for a minute. That's all that does, and this is completely searchable off of Terra. One ofs, we've got Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave, it's at 1 of for a reason. Also, if your Misk is going to get ashed and you have this in hand, boom, you continue your plays. Then afterwards, you're going to be completely protected. You're going to be able to completely go off and be golden. Feather Duster, I like to always play in all of my decks some form of back row removal. Because if you don't have it, you just get stuck in back rows sometime. So I like to at least have one, either have this, have a Lightning Storm. So I prefer Duster. So this one of, always have something. Then we've got 2 Ash Blossoms. I like to run my hand traps at 2 instead of 3. Especially ones like Ash Blossom, just because Ash Blossom is a once per turn. So if you do draw 2 of them, then it's a dead card. So having 2 of them instead of 3, less likely that's going to happen. Run 2 Effect Veiler, just because this is a budget-oriented deck. This would probably be a Droll if you were running a full price, but Droll's like $3, so we're not. Then 2 Infinite Impermanence. It's one of the more expensive cards in your main deck, but it's really good. You know what it does. It's good going first, good going second. Just a really good card to have. I also run 2 Nibiru's. Nibiru is a great going second card. This is more of a going second version of the deck. It can go first. It's just not built for it. So just know this is good. Also, all of these hand traps are not dinosaurs. I know, shocker, right? But this works well with Pill. If you have a weird hand, you've got hand traps, then say you Ash Blossom on your turn, on your turn, then you can easily go into a Pill using your Ash Blossom, using your Veiler, or using your Nibiru as that non-dinosaur monster instead of going through your combo to get a Link Karibo into the graveyard. So that's really nice to have, and it's good to use sometimes. Other little fun choices. For budget decks, I like to run Super Poly, just because it's inexpensive and it can just end games super hard. Just one of those blowout cards that, if you are running an inexpensive deck, you need those blowout cards, and this definitely fits the bill. Then, just because it's not at 1 anymore, running Upstart Goblin at 2, you could run it at 3 if you want to. It's not once per turn. As long as you're not getting drolled on it, you're golden. Sometimes it can be Ash bait if they're not smart. You should never really Ash this card, but some people will. It basically just drops your deck count to 38, so you have a little more consistency. So that's really nice. Okay, getting into the extra deck. We've got Link Karibo. This is mandatory for the deck, just because this is what you go into off Animador and Archosaur, and then you'll either link off into Secure Gardna or into your Pentastag, and that is going to let you use that Link Karibo as your pill target for non-dinosaurs. He is also the most expensive card in your entire deck, which is kind of crazy to think about. We've got Secure Gardna. He's just, as I said, if you have Link Karibo out there and your hand's kind of weird, you can link directly into Secure Gardna, getting your Link Karibo into the graveyard. You're never going to use this guy's effects, hardly ever. Same with this guy, hardly ever. I do put the 1 Link Spider in there. He's cheap, and he can sometimes clear up problematic monsters that are on your side of the field that you need to get rid of. So it's just an easy card to have on your deck. Pentastag. Some Dino decks do not run Pentastag. I disagree strongly. Even if you are a going first Dino deck, you need to run 1 Pentastag. It just lets Ultimate Conductor hit for piercing as big as their board is, and it's usually just game. So I always run Pentastag in any dinosaur deck, and I think you guys should too. Into some XZs here. This is all horribly out of order. I don't know how that happened. Okay, there we go. That's better. We've got, first up, Gigantic Sprite. He is a fun one. I'm just learning how to use. He's pretty easy to get into, with your level 2s, with your Link 2s, all that kind of stuff. And he's just extra damage and can just kind of screw over your opponent. He's a good card. Try him out. He's a little, again, the extra deck is 90% of your budget, and he's a little bit of that. And then your normal cards you always see in Dino decks. You've got Logia, you've got Dulka, Omni Negate. This is a 2 monster negate. Really nice, good cards. Always run at least 1. A lot of decks will run 2 of each if they have room in their extra deck. If I wasn't running Super Poly, I would definitely be running 2 of these. Then, second most expensive card in the deck, number 60, Dogaris the Timeless. He's amazing. He obviously takes 2 level 4s to go into him, and then you're either going to draw 2 cards off of him, but realistically, you're going to use his third effect to skip your next battle phase and double the attack of one of your monsters. That's going to be Ultimate Conductor, and Ultimate Conductor will be right underneath Pentastag. So then you're going to be hitting for piercing for 7,000 on each monster. Again, you can see the numbers stack up really fast. Then our last Xyz monster, we're running Abyss Dweller. This is just really good if you're going first and you're running, you're going against a a graveyard deck. This just shuts those graveyard decks down. You could also run the little fat pig dude. I don't remember his name right now. Let me know in the comments down below how dumb I am for forgetting that guy's name. But that's just, there's several rank 4s you could run. Then, because we're running Meteorus, we can get into synchro plays. Baron de Fleur is going to be the one you're most likely going to go into, just because he has a pop and a negate. But if you need to, you can also go into Borreload Savage, or you could just run 2 Lafleurs, really. In fact, that's probably a better idea, is just going into 2 Barons. But you're never really going to make both of these. It'd be really rare to actually make both of these. But another thing with Baron, with Borreload, he will get a negate, but because we don't run any high link numbers, he's not going to get really big for damage. So just remember that if you are running him, maybe throw in, like, if you can throw in an Apollousa, really good. Apollousa is still expensive though, but if you have one, I'd run it. Okay, getting into our fusions. So we've Horned Ceros? So this card can attack directly the turn that it's special summon. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you may place 1 field spell from your deck or graveyard face up on the field. That's how we're searching out our Lost World. So that's going to let you get into your Lost World really easy. And during the main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 dinosaur or dragon monster. So if you have more dinosaurs in your hand, you can summon them out, and then that's going to get the effect of Lost World to put a token on board. So pretty good. It's a nice little fun new thing, and it's always kind of nice getting new little tech options for such an old deck that is dinosaurs. And then we've got just 3. I'm saying through with my fingers. I know you can't see me. Just 3 of our options for Super Poly. This is kind of dependent on what you think you're going to run into out there in the world. So you can change this up. You can also, cut some of this other stuff if you want to have more options for Super Poly. Or if you want to run 3 Super Poly, then I'd have more options here. But right now, Starving Venom is going to be your main one because it's really easy to get into. And it's just going to be one of your go-to Super Poly targets. Mud Dragon, again, super easy to get into. And because there are a lot of Link monsters out there right now, I think, or if you're going against like Dragon Link, World Chalice, Guard Dragon is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So it's definitely something to try out. But just know you can change these out. There's not a lot of really expensive Super Poly targets. Except for the one bird, like Gagaria, or I forget the name. That one's like $30, but that's the only one that's going to run you any kind of money. Okay, that is the whole deck for like $50, $48, and that's pretty much after shipping. So even if you're buying this all on TCG Play, you're going to get out the door pretty cheap. Let's go into some other options. Some of these are cheap, some of these are expensive. I just wanted to run down some options for you guys. So first up, we've got the Scrap combo. So Scrap Raptor, Scrap Chimera, and Scrap Wyvern. Those are just going to let you get into more synchro plays, and if you do run this package, you probably want to up your synchro count. Then, just one more thing. I just don't care to run Scrap. I know it's good. I know some people really love it. I just don't personally like it that much. So that's why I'm not running it. Let me know how dumb I am in the comments down below, how much you think it's the best thing ever. But personally, it's just not my favorite. Then, obviously I talked about it earlier, Ground Dino. You want to run this at 3. It's chef's kiss, makes the deck so much better just because it plus a baby equals full combo. and it's just so good. But that's why it's $30. And, you know, 3 of them, it's going to cost you around $90 to $100. And that's double the price of our entire deck. So that's why we don't run it in this deck. And then Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird, it's kind of the staple hand trap in this meta right now. It's probably the most expensive hand trap in this meta right now. So just know that if you want to run it, it's probably going to put you over our budget a little bit, but you could run it at 3, or if you just have it, because it's been reprinted a bunch. If you've been playing the game, you probably have this in your staple binder. Okay, getting back into more expensive cards, Triple Tactics Talon and Triple Tactics Thrust. Really powerful, really expensive. Usually people only run 1 or 2 of either of these. So, you know, if you want to run it, if you have it, go ahead. Just know this is going to up the price of your deck almost by double, just by having one of them. So both of these together will be over $50. Crossout Designator is a really nice card to have in this deck. It's at 2, you can run 2. A lot of people only run 1, and this can help protect you from Ash. And if you're running this, I would also change up my hand trap lineup a little bit to have maybe 1 or 2 one-ofs of possible things that you could cross-out designate. So he's a really good one. Back row. This Lightning Storm here is something I would definitely have in my side deck. Lightning Storm can also be, you know, Twin Twisters, Cyclones, anything that removes back row. Dinosaurs has a little trouble with back row decks. So if you're siding in, you would, you know, on your side, I would want to have at least 4 or 5 options to add into the deck for back row removal or shutdown. So just know that this means several other cards. Then hard going second decks, I would only put Dark Ruler and Evenly Matched in your side. They're also slightly more expensive. Not terrible, so just because they've been reprinted to death, and so the prices have come down. But you probably want to run them in your side, not your main. They are just good hard going seconds. If you know you're going second, you'd want to at least put 3 of one of these in there. Then the extra deck, we've got the big budget card. SP Little Knight is your big money. She's at like 130 right now. So if you have her, run her. If you don't, I'd wait for the Mega 10s. So, but she's really nice. And you run into her a lot against people that have a little more money than I run around with. Then we talked about her earlier, Apollosa. She's a really good one to have in your side there in your extra deck. But she is about $10 right now, and so it's definitely out of our current budget. I also wanted to bring up Evilsaur Lars. This is a pretty good card. Just know that if you do end up playing this card with your Ground Xeno package, then you also have to add in a normal dinosaur. I don't personally like running the normal just because it's a brick, and I just hate running bricks because dinos can be bricky. And that is just going to be an option. And the 15th card, because I'm stupid, I forgot to put it in there, IP Masquerena. If you're running Apollosa, you also need to run IP Masquerena. She's also expensive. Just because it lets you go into her to get rid of, you know, to have her ready for the next turn, and then that lets you go into an IP Masquerena that can't be affected. So it worked out pretty good. Okay, that is the whole deck. Again, it's a fun deck. There's lots of room for improvement. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys would change. But until then, let's jump over and take a look at some test hands. Running through a test hand here. This is just if you're making your deck on Nexus, you can click test hand and it lets you just, you know, go first, or I mean, if you want to, you can pass turn, go second, and get your 6th card if you want to see what that draw is going to be. But our hand was actually pretty decent. We were able to go straight into our normal combo. It does kind of suck that we drew the polymerization, but I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world to draw, because we will have the option of either polying into our new fusion target, or we could go into the couple other ones because we have some other darks on the field at that point. So we're going to go through our normal combo of over Soul Eating to Misk to Animadorn to getting Pill, popping Baby to Pop Baby, and then we're going to get Terra out. Now Terra would usually get you your polymerization, but since we had it, we'll just go ahead and activate it so you guys can see what that is, and so you can polymerize from either in hand or on the field, which is really nice. He's going to then get you your field spell. Now we would usually be able to summon something out there, but we didn't have any dinosaurs in hand. Whatever. Then we just kind of have to fiddle around to see what we want to do next. If we were going second, we would want to go into our Pentastag before we went into our Ultimate Conductor, just because we would need that non-dino in the graveyard. You don't always want to use the hand traps because those hand traps are sometimes better in the hand. So we're actually going to get to resummon things out and do something there. Oh, nice. I didn't even know that happened like that. When we summon him out from the Banished, we get the Poly back, which could be kind of cool. So we're going to go ahead, go into some protection, and that's going to, make it so if, we were going first, we now had 3-4 ways of interrupting our opponent. And just to use the card because it's fun, you can always polymerize your stuff. Say something gets, silenced or something like that. You go into this guy for more damage. Whatever. Okay, that's it for this one. Let's look at the next combo. Here we've got a pretty basic little test hand. We're going to go ahead and use our Searcher to get into our Oviraptor. Searching Oviraptor. That's going to let us get Misk to the hand, and now we're fully protected. Well, almost fully. You can always get ashed after you put Misk in the graveyard, or if they try to ash your Pill, so watch out for that. This is going to let us get into our Animadorn. Animadorn's going to pop a baby. That's going to give us Pill. And then that's going to bring out, we're going to bring out the other baby. We're just going to try out some different stuff here. This is going to let us go into a slightly different version of the combo. While, putting out quite a bit of damage and protection. We're going to pop the baby to bring out the other baby, then bring out Meteosaurus. Meteosaurus is then going to Synchro Summon, and that's going to put us into our Baron, giving us protection for the rest of the plays. Then we're going to pop the baby with the Baron, and that's going to bring out another level 4. That's just going to help us out later. Then we're going to go ahead, and we could have played this a little different, but I just decided to do it at the time. You could go into a Pentastag, but I decided to go into this guy, so then I could go into more negates. So I go ahead and use the Pill, banish your Terra, banish your Link Karibo, and that's going to bring back your Terra. That's going to give us 2 4s. That's going to let us go into into an Xyz just for more protection. So now we've got an Omni Negate, 2 monster negates, a flip from your Ultimate Conductor. We've got Super Poly, which is pretty awesome. So awesome. And, if you need a little bit more damage on your damage step, you could even Super Poly your own step away to go in for a little bit of something. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys are liking this $50 variant of the deck. Let me know in the comments down below, what would you change? I like to see what you guys will do for these decks to make them your own and just add that little bit of spice. But until laters, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best.